Arcade Animals!
Welcome to episode 7 of my Evercade Cartridge Review series. Today we're talking about the grandpappy of all video games.
Howdy, Pappy!
The grandpappy of all, Atari. This is Atari Arcade 1, and we're going to go over some gameplay footage, tell you what I like, what I don't like, and at the end I'll show you what my favorite game is on this cartridge. And all I ask is that you please subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up if you like the video, and comment and let me know what your favorite game is on this cartridge. So welcome to the most must-see channel on YouTube. Welcome to...
Get over here!
Animality.
So I'm not going to go over Atari as a company. They've been around since 1972. There are bunches of documentaries about Atari. There's the ups, the downs, the highs and lows of the company. They've been around forever. They are still making stuff. So they just had their 50th anniversary in 2022. I'm sure you know about the 50th anniversary edition games that they have come out with for the different systems, and the Arcade 1-Up Atari 50th anniversary edition cabinet that they made. But my Atari, I have a 2600. I still have it from childhood. That was my first Atari system. And I don't know the history of that specific system because I don't know if it was bought for me or if it was my parents or another relative or whatever, but it was been in my house since I've been alive. So that was my first introduction into video games. And even after like the PlayStation 3 had come out, I was still hooking up the Atari 2600 and playing some of those games because Atari is just fun. Like their games, even though they're not necessarily the most graphically advanced games, they're just fun. And I've always enjoyed the Atari 2600, and this cartridge is some of their games that were in an actual arcade. I do recommend you looking up some of the history of Atari and some of the documentaries and things. I also wanted to mention that some of these games on this cartridge I feel play better with their original joysticks they were made with, like Pong. I'm playing these games on my Evercade Alpha, which is an arcade style with the joystick and buttons. But something like Pong needs the paddle joysticks, the rotating paddle joysticks, and games like that, I couldn't really get to work too well with the joystick instead of, you know, what they were meant to be played on. This cartridge has 13 games on it, so let's take a look and see what they are. Conceived in 1958, a version of video table tennis that is known as the original video game was later created for the first home console, the Magnavox Odyssey, in 1972. Atari then created their arcade version and called it Pong. Magnavox sued Atari for stealing their concept and won in 1977, but Atari already had the patent. Without the paddle controls for better accuracy, this Evercade version makes it hard to win. With 3 modes that allow you to compete against an ever-advancing wall or free the trapped balls or run a doubles match, this is the most influential block breaker game of all time. 1978's Super Breakout is the sequel to Breakout, and both use a black and white display with overlays to simulate color. This is another game that's better with paddle controls that won't get much replay from me. In one of the first ever first-person perspective games, drive as far as you can before time runs out in 1976's Night Driver. Use R1 to accelerate, then shift through 4 gears with the other buttons. Score points as you go along and gain extra time at 300. This is the simplest form of a driving game. Just keep that sweet orange race car between the oncoming roadside dots and you'll have a fun yet chill experience. Skydiver from 1978 lets you and a friend jump out of a plane from the comfort of your couch. Jump at the right time and get as close to the ground as you can before pulling your parachute for bigger points. Watch the windsock to get a perspective of which way to sway towards the landing pad. Atari created high scores, and this is a simple and fun who gets the higher score game. Navigate your way through the evil Bertilda's 37 Crystal Castles in 1983. Help Bentley Bear collect as many gems as you can before the gem-eating bad guys get them. Move around the level and jump when needed. Grab the wizard hat for a short stint with invincibility. And being one of the first games with an actual ending, you have a reason to beat it. Don't hibernate on this classic title. Lunar Lander from 1979 is the first game to feature multiple perspectives thanks to its zooming vector graphics. Watch your speed and land as many times as you can to score the most points. Rotate with the directional button, thrust with the B, select your difficulty with the X, and emergency thrusters with the Y. And I gotta be honest, this is the worst game I've ever played. I've never in my entire life been able to land this stupid lunar lander safely in the middle of the crag that you're supposed to land it in. In Missile Command from 1980, one or two players alternating must stop the missiles launched by the Krytolians to save the utopian planet Zardon. It's a point-and-click style shmup where you move the cursor with the D-pad and launch a missile from one of your three bases with the A, B, or X buttons. You can see the direction of enemy missiles by the lines on the screen, so be strategic in your placement of counterfire and try to kill two birds with one stone. I'm very familiar with this title and I've played it many times in the arcade as well as on the 2600.
The Elodium Q-36 explosive space modulator. That creature has stolen the space modulator.
Commander Champion and the Atari Force need your help against the evil army in this rare 1982 shmup called Liberator. Similar to Missile Command, move the cursor and fire missiles, but this time you can activate shields to protect yourself as you destroy the flashing red bases. The 3D feel of this game gives Liberator a higher challenge level being on offense while defending the four corners of the screen. And Canyon Bomber from 1977 dropped bombs away to clear all these sweet points out of the canyon from your biplane and Led Zeppelin. It's all about timing, so try to hit the higher value targets. 3 missed and you're out. Once again, deceptively simple and fun, like the cell phone games you constantly play while irritating the rest of your family because you're staring at your phone and not watching the movie.
Your mother was a hamster, and your father smelt of elderberries.
The Atari 2600 version of Warlords was developed first, but the arcade version was released first in 1980. This block breaker for up to 4 players pits angry neighbors against each other to see whose castle walls will fall first as you bounce the local dragon's fireballs across the street. Catch the fireball to aim it better, but don't hold it too long, you know, because it's the hot potato. It's a fun multiplayer battle for the knights who say, Next, we speak of Gaming Royalty, a game that was chosen for the final round of the 1981 Atari World Championships. Centipede is one of the most commercially successful games. Move your bug blaster with the joystick and shoot all the segments of the centipede as it descends down screen with the B button. Protect your mushroom garden from all the hazards to become the ultimate Zen Master Exterminator.
It's all Obi-Wan's fault.
Released in 1981, Asteroids Deluxe is a more challenging variant of the classic Asteroids game. Turn your spaceship with the joystick, A uses the thruster, B fires blasters at the never-ending wave of space rocks and the UFOs and satellites hiding in between them. And if all else fails, press Y to shoot off into hyperspace. Asteroids Deluxe is a vector game made entirely of drawn lines that anyone can pick up and play. So I went back and forth between Centipede and its sequel from 1982. Either one could have been my favorite game on this cartridge, but I went with Millipede. You're still defending the mushroom forest. This time you're an archer shooting arrows at the bugs. Hit one of the DDT capsules to release a bug bomb to kill a bigger area. I think this is a highly replayable and very fun game. With faster, more chaotic gameplay and a wider variety of enemies, Millipede rock and rolls all night and parties every day. Hope you've enjoyed this trip down memory lane with Atari Arcade 1 for the Evercade. If you want to be an official arcade animal, hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up if you like the video, and let me know what your favorite game is on this cartridge in the comment section below.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.